Hey guys, here in my truck, man. I was trying to figure out how this work. This is my second time trying to go live on YouTube, man. Trying to figure out how it work. Um, y'all check out my first live. You know, tell me how you understood what was going on or whatever. But I was trying to talk about splits for the day and getting more tips on learning how to do it or whatever. But yeah. Cause I just my split just got over probably about 5 minutes ago. But y'all tell me how things going. Do you hear me just fine or whatever? But how I do mine, I do 8273, and then I usually do it early in the morning, rush hour early in the morning if I want to stop, if I ain't got much time to get to a place and I got to go through a bigger city. I don't want to stop and go and use up my time because I'm on electronic logs here at PNS. That's what they be on. So when I'm doing that, try to utilize my time without using it all up in traffic. I usually do a split to get to the other side of the traffic when the traffic ain't heavy in the morning, and I do the same thing in the afternoon, depending on what time I get to a specific place. But now we run Samsara over here, so it pretty much self explanatory when you running the Samsara out. It tell you how many hours you got and so forth. Like say if you do you start the day you stop for you doing your split for the first day and you stop 8 hours, right? It'll probably give you like half the drive time. You might get something like 7 or 8 hours to drive, but it ain't gonna give you the other three until you complete the 2 hours, and then it'll give you the other three like that. Same thing with the 7 hours. Say you stop, you do a 7 hour break. They may give you like 5 hours um to get your drive time. You might get 5 hours, and then after you do uh a 3 hour break, then you get the rest of that drive time to drive forward. So that's how that pretty much go with the splits. Now if you know anything about the splits as a driver, put your comments down there, so you can help somebody out with doing splits. Cause a lot of times if you don't understand the splits, you'll put yourself in violation. So that's something to think about when you're doing the splits. But I love doing the splits to avoid high traffic times. And sometimes I do a split so I can just get to a place early. Cause some of these places when you be delivering, it be almost like 10, 15 people in front of you. And then you there at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and you ain't getting out till about 12, and then you got to pick up another load and stuff like that. So when you're doing that, it mess your drive, it mess your money up, because now you ain't got time to get the other load and stuff like that. So if you do that split while you sitting in that line waiting, if you there at 8 o'clock and you got that split, by the time you get unloaded and everything, that split will be complete, and then you'll have more drive time. You'll have all your drive time and be able to pick up your next load and keep it moving, man. That's how that going. What's up? What's up? Hey, yeah, what's up, y'all? This is my first live, so it may be a little, I'm like thugging it out. I don't really know, I'm just trying it. Let me read this out. What? Oh, I don't mean that type of split. Oh yeah, you talking about a gymnast? Nah, I'm a drive. I'm talking about truck driving splits. Like when we got this thing called split sleeper berth as a truck driver. So that's really what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about no gymnast. Yeah, I see you talking about but hey there, Matthew. Yeah, I'm a truck driver. I don't know nothing about gymnasts, but yeah, you know. This off topic, but yeah. I used to watch gymnastics back in the day, man. I think the first gymnast that I ever paid attention to was a gymnast by the name Dominique Dawes. I was probably around about 10, 12 years old, something like that. But yeah, I'm talking about driving, like if you know anything about driving and doing split sleeper berth as a driver in traffic, yeah. But that's what I got going on today. Oh yeah, 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 definitely. Back in the day, yeah, she was doing good. You know, I was watching her for the first time, and I was trying to play basketball. I used to be short and fat, man. Everybody was taller than me and stuff, so I was watching her routine, and then a Lakers versus Boston game came on. I was like, man, they ain't letting me shoot. You know, being fat and short, I couldn't shoot the ball. They would block it or stuff like that. So I happened to be watching a Lakers game, Lakers versus Boston, man. And Jabbar done a sky hook, and I said, man, if I learn how to do the sky hook, I believe they won't be able to block my shot. So I started working on the sky hook. Within about 2 months, they couldn't block my shot. I was fat and I was throwing the sky hook, man. I was throwing the sky hook from at the 3-point line. I could hit a three-point shot with a sky hook. That's a true story. True story. It's a true story, but yeah. But that's all that happened in the same year that Dominique Dawes, watching her do her routine for that year and that basketball game. I learned a lot that year. But yeah, man, I'm gonna get on off. But nah, I wasn't LeBron. I was more like, let me see who I would say the sky hook was like then. I wasn't real. I was Jabbar, Fat Jabbar. That's who I was. And then I turned in as I got a little height and learned how to play basketball a little better. I turned into I like the Hakeem Olajuwon and Patrick Ewing. So that's who I had done then, man. Patrick Ewing and Hakeem Olajuwon was my favorite plus. So I used to I changed from the sky hook to the baby hook, and I could shoot 3-pointers real good. And you know, Ryan, and then Steph Curry wasn't no thing. You know, it was like Reggie Miller was the when I was watching as a kid. Reggie Miller was the best 3-point shooter back in the day. I'm trying to think of somebody else that used to shoot quite a bit of threes back then. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Dennis Rodman. Dennis was good, man. You know, I grew up as a Knicks fan, so I hated Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Who else was there? Horace Grant, all them. No, I ain't like them, man. I felt like New York Knicks would have had about 2, 3 championships with Patrick Ewing if Michael Jordan wasn't there. And Dennis Rodman, you know, yeah, he pretty much one of the best defensive players I done seen. Cause I really don't. I remember the other day I was talking with somebody. They were saying that Draymond Green, yeah, Draymond Green was as good as Dennis Rodman, but I don't see it. Yeah, yeah, Dennis pretty cool, man, but I think he just he just knew how to get into people's head, but he actually was, his conditioning was like, above the top. Inbox, zero gold. Oh, I have no idea. But yeah, y'all tell me if this live all right, man. I'm finna get on off. I got to get to work now. I got to drive like 6 more hours before I take my break, get in the bunk. But yeah, if there are any drivers come across my content, if you know about the 8 hour split sleeper burp and you've been doing it, do it. All right, thanks, man, for being on my live, man. Having this little conversation, man. And yeah, I'll try to go live tomorrow as I learn a little more about this. But all right, y'all be good.